I'm on the Squamish River. Actually, I'm gonna spin the camera and let you guys have a 360 go, right? Now, it sounds kind of noisy. It's slow. There's no rapids here, but there's a big waterfall behind me above that timber. We'll zoom in on it in a minute. So, it's looking out towards the ocean. Creeping up to east. That's southeast. Looking east. Northeast. Somewhat north, I guess. Whatever, I don't have a compass on, alright? Just looking up river. And swinging west, northwest. There's the noise you hear in the background, right there. Oops, hold on, let me get the focus going here. There we go. That's where the background sounds come from. How's that for real time? Annoying filming. I don't think that focuses on auto though. So I'll have to go to, we got okay. Alright, so I'm back east. We're looking to try to go to Mexico. So got some friends down there on the boat, and we're gonna get some. Really wanted to get my tuna, a couple boxes of tuna, bring it back, but it's proven to be a bit of a shit show going down, crossing down there. Canadian rules just changed to you must have passed a COVID test when you leave Mexico to get on the plane, or else it's a no-go. Then the only way to get away from quarantining for 2 weeks once you get home is we could fly to Calgary, get a test there, stay there for 2 days, and then you're positive or negative test, then you're good to go. You don't have to stay at home for 2 weeks once you get home. Obviously, I go crazy if I stay in the house for more than 2 hours. So, but I got friends down there right now, and it's proving to be quite the pain in the ass trying to get the COVID test in Cabo San Lucas and to come home after they've been down there for a month of fishing. See what happens. But I think I might have to go on a steelhead fishing binge on the coast of British Columbia for a couple weeks anyway. I've done that for a while. And basically we got the wolves. The wolves are wrapped up and taken care of. I was watching the odd salmon surface right there. Maybe I'll be able to film one. So I don't have to go looking for surplus wolves this winter, thank God. But anyway, here I am. Let me get on with this. I've got some interesting emails to share with you guys, all right? Now, before I share this email volley, I'm reading these directly from my inbox, and it's not so confusing for me when I just copy and put them into my notes. So this email came into me from a First Nations man. He didn't ask me to share it, and I'm going to read to you the email volley as it came into me, and I replied to him. And let it be known, no matter what the experience emailed in to me, there isn't one person on the face of the earth that can dictate to us, including me, that this did or did not happen. All right? Nobody can say whether or not, especially not something happened, without being there themselves first, okay? It's just not gonna happen. So, as this ride goes on of gaining knowledge, once you become aware, like I have, the amount of bullshit and suppressed knowledge going on with all of us, it is very, very clear that there is more going on than we are let to be aware of. And that's a fact. Once you understand that there's much more going on, it makes it much more probable that the majority of these experiences are valid. All right? But again, as usual, take from it what you will. All right? And, or not. But this email is all I'm going to share with you guys. Hopefully, if somebody out there, there's a good chance somebody out there, if you were nearby when this happened, you're one of the people involved with this when it happened, you will possibly get the balls up to email into me and add to it. All right? Just looking at the sheer numbers this channel is accumulating is off the frickin' charts. It's a solid 3 million plus views per month. What was it? Over 26 million views this last year in total, and it's skyrocketing, climbing. It's climbing like you wouldn't believe. And people are coming here on their own. This channel is not marketed or pushed anywhere intentionally. It's not. So let's get on with it. I'm going to read this email as it came into me. Okay? Alright, where's the first one? This is in my email, so... Okay, here it is. This was on January 1st, you emailed me actually. Hey man, it's been half a lifetime. My name is Edward Baker from the Mission Res in North Bend. I'm thinking you're the guy who was behind me along that straight stretch. There were 5 vehicles ahead of me when the biggest effing red-haired Sasquatch crossed the highway. This is more than this. There's more to tell, but I want to know if that was you. Do you remember my car, color, and model? Let me know. So obviously that's in the backyard. That stretch of highway is, as the crow flies, it's right there. Okay? So you can look at what's behind me here. Shit. You can see what's behind me here that was in line with this particular being, the direction it was traveling, 28 years ago. Okay? So I replied, hey Ed, no, it wasn't me. There's no shortage of sightings on that road. Was it daylight? Which way is it going? Happy New Year, Steve. Let's keep it short. So he went on to email me back again. And listen to this. It was around 8 p.m., middle of summer, hotter than hell. It's like an oven in the corridor. I'm 53 now, and I was 25 when this happened. I've been clean and sober for 4 years, a complete turnaround from surviving the nightmare growing up on the res and on the streets of the cities. I've gone back to school, taken some counseling training with Bruce Woods and Robert Kiosk. We developed the Change of Seasons Men's Domestic Violence Program, a 28-session behavior modification program for First Nations men who are abusive in some or the full spectrum of violence towards their family. I chose this line of work to help make a difference in the First Nations community and was not shocked or intimidated by anyone's experience because I had the fear taken from me as a child by the sociopaths in my family. This is so you know where I've come from and the direction I was heading in life. Well, I was southbound on the 99. That's Highway 99, all right? And there were 5 vehicles ahead of me and 1 behind me. We all stopped. Some of us got out to gaze at the spectacle that was heading west across the 99. We all were about 1 kilometer north of the 7-Eleven and McDonald's. And back then there was a swamp that went a couple of 100 meters west from the round, and he was about 80 meters in it already. He stopped and raised his hand up the side of the old growth cedar and turned his head for a look back. It was the first time in years I had felt intimidated and threatened by the way someone looked at me. My neck hairs were up, my heart was pounding as it disappeared around that old cedar. I was so scared and intimidated that when it went around the cedar, I roared at it for as long as it took to let go of the fear, and I was quite a bit calmer. Well, when I was done roaring, it gave me a return raw stand. That might be a spell mistake, so I'm gonna guess it gave me a return roar. Everyone behind that car except the one behind mine had effed off because he had turned around and was coming back. I quickly went to the trunk of my car, opened it up, and pulled out my 7.62 by 39 Ruger and took position on the driver's side of the car. He kept coming. It was about 30 meters from the road, and I started unloading into his torso, barely slowed him at all. I had put 5 rounds into him, and he was still coming when I went to the trunk and grabbed the 50 cal single shot from the trunk and 4 rounds for it. The whole time he was making his way back, he was throwing trees and boulders towards the road. Just as he got to the road, I had chambered around in the 50, pointed out the passenger window, pulled the trigger, dropped the rifle, and scooted down the highway to get some distance between us, stopped, reloaded, and shot him again as he was coming for me. On the 4th time, he dropped, and that was it for my encounter. It was only 1 minute when it was all done, and 2 RCMP arrived at the scene. They closed the highway for a couple of hours, took my guns, and after an hour, some suits showed up with a 5-ton truck and hauled it away. The beast was gone with the suits, and it was just 2 RCMP. I asked for my weapons back, and they gave me all but my 50 back. I'll tell you this, the call goes in, and someone high up in the detachment has a number to call, and they have 2 people 2 hours from any scene. Why they want it kept quiet is beyond you or me. When I returned to Darcy, and Darcy's straight up the road from where I live, where there's a shit pile of sightings, mind you, where good friends and family are. Okay, when I returned to Darcy, where good friends and family are, they already knew of my engagement and helped me through it, saying I did a good thing for the people. They told me that he was a bad one, and not all of them are bad. In fact, most of them mean no harm. It's the ones that roar, that eat meat and intimidate. I share this in loving memory of Kenneth P., who helped me through the aftermath of the encounter, understanding me and the flood of grief, fear, and emotional pain that I experienced. He was the first person to understand and help me cry about it to move forward and get back to the good work that I was doing before my big, red, and angry. Before the big, red, and angry. Anyhow, Happy New Year. Stay safe and healthy, physically, mentally, and emotionally, spiritually. Don't take any shit from anyone. Carry a 50. Huh. Wow. So I replied with, that's an insane story, man. Where'd you get the 50? Want me to share this story? See if anyone else knows of it? And he replied one last time, I acquired the 50 single shot from a friend. You can share the insanity if you'd like. The powers that be can't F with me any more than they have, with character assassination and paying people to make me look like the monster. Share the story and see if any others that were there come forward before the violence began. I really thought you were the guy in the car behind me. He's the only other person that can confirm the actions that I took, being a civilian and so forth. How's that for an email? So 1 kilometer up from McDonald's, there's a swamp. There's still a swamp there. There's still big timber on both sides of the highway. There's a lot of development a little farther north than that. As straight as the crow flies is right behind me, and once you cross this river behind me, it's endless, middle of nowhere. You can go that way. The first place you're going to hit pavement if you go that way is literally hundreds and hundreds of miles until you probably got to something like Kitimat or something. I don't know, something way the hell up there. So this is the gateway to the absolute wilds. There's huge swamp and timber behind the camera, and that was 28 years ago. So just so you know, it's just a couple years ago. There's still herds of Roosevelt elk crossing that very same stretch of highway just a couple years ago, right? So it's not like it was crossing in downtown Vancouver. So there you go. I wasn't there. You weren't there. That sounds like a pretty straightforward memory, which he did not email me originally for me to share with all of you either, did he? I had to ask. So anyway, if anybody knows of that experience 28 years ago on the Sea to Sky corridor, the Squamish Highway, just a little over a kilometer up from the McDonald's, the 7-Eleven, north of there, even if you have to get a fake email, who gives a shit? Let's make up the email and email us in and see what you got to share. And when he said there's a phone number to call, I do know that is a fact. I know for a fact some RCMP, some special forces in Canada, how do I say this? There is a number that the RCMP have to call when it comes to UFOs and something else. I think it's Sasquatch, or one or the other. Anyways, there is a number they have to call. That's a fact. So anyway, there you go. There's another one. That reminds me, I got to get around to I have to get around to reading those shootings / killings of Sasquatch people that Bobby Short recorded and interviewed the people. And I have that mailed to me from a very super person who I need to get in contact with soon. And she emailed me those excerpts that haven't been published. and give me full on green light to share them out with you. I just haven't got around to it, you guys, but I will, alright? So anyway, there you go. There's one hell of a story and experience that somebody shared with us. And again, not one of us can dictate whether or not that happened or not. Not one of us.